Hey there, I'm Gretchen Rubin, co-host of the Happier with Gretchen Rubin podcast. And in a minute, I'll be joined by my sister, ELISA Kraft, also my co-host. But in the meantime, will you tell me, where are you watching from? We always get such a big kick out of seeing where in the world people are watching from. And also, have you experienced Zoom fatigue? Give us a thumbs up if you're finding that Zoom or other forms of video chat like House Party or Facebook or FaceTime are wonderful, but also maybe strangely draining. Let us know in the comments. Give us a thumbs up if you've experienced this. Here's Elizabeth. Santa Fe. Oh, yeah, lots of thumbs up. Lots of thumbs up. Look at that. Ooh, Nelson, British Columbia. Oh, hey, Elizabeth.
Hi,
How are you?
I am good.
I was just asking people if they've experienced Zoom fatigue. Have you experienced Zoom fatigue?
I have experienced Zoom fatigue, and I haven't even been on Zoom as much as a lot of other people. I mean,
Well, but you've been doing, sorry, I'm trying to raise my thing a little bit there. You have been doing meetings on Zoom, like actual business meetings on Zoom. How has
yes.
that been?
Yeah, I mean, it's been fine. Obviously, it's not as good as in person. But when I've been doing the meetings, I do maybe two or three. And even then, I don't then feel like going and getting on a Zoom with friends at night. So I think that's the problem. It's, if some people are on from 10 to 4, they're
Yeah,
on Zoom. And I think that's really hard.
yeah, Jamie is like that. He's on it all the time, and it's very draining. And it's interesting because then some people say, "Well, do a conference call instead, or do it by phone." And I think that's great if it's one person or two people, but you sort of get into that problem of how do you manage a larger group of people if the nature of your work is that a lot of people have to be on have a conversation together. It's just hard to manage kind of whatever the technology is.
Yeah, I find Zoom is harder than the phone in
Oh yeah,
terms of who talks when. And I don't know why, because you can see the people, so it should be easier.
yeah,
But it's like that, that little highlighted box goes around and you
yeah,
can't really hear a person unless they're the one
yeah,
who's got the microphone or whatever. And it can be very awkward.
yeah,
Maybe there's like a little bit of a lag or something.
yeah, yeah.
Someone says she's a teacher and has major Zoom fatigue. I'm sure
Oh my gosh.
teachers,
I'm sure teachers have it maybe
you know,
worse because of the nature of needing to teach. Somebody says mostly doing work on the phone. I do think that maybe it's good to use the phone if you can. I was doing a thing yesterday where they thought that my sound wasn't working because they couldn't hear me and I could hear them. But what they figured out is that everybody was trying to chime in to say what I should do. And so I was just being muted out. And so it's like one of these things where, oh my gosh, it's just, it's sort of chaos.
yeah.
I think we're all getting better at it. But, see, this is funny. Someone says, I picked up my grocery order today and they were out of Fresca that Liz made me thirsty for. Oh, yeah.
There
Yeah.
there's a run on Fresca.
I should say it is the official soft drink of my adult book group is Fresca. Yes.
Well,
So if you're just joining us,
the soft drink of COVID-19.
oh yeah, that's right. It's like your signature drink, just like your signature smell. If you're just joining us, we are the co-hosts of the Happier with Gretchen Rubin podcast, and we are kicking it off by talking about Zoom fatigue. And Alyssa, speaking of the Happier podcast, we should say thank you, huge gold star to everybody who voted.
Yes.
Voting is open until Thursday at midnight Pacific time. So click the link in my profile if you will vote for us for the Webby's People's Voice Awards, because we are very eager to make a good showing there.
Yes, we want to win.
We do.
Gretchen, I had an idea for Zoom, fatigue, dealing with Zoom fatigue, because Sarah and I were talking to our friend Corrine, who we talk about on Happier in Hollywood all the time, and she's been in a Zoom room, and was saying how that there's such burnout.
Yeah.
And one thing I was thinking of is, Sarah and I often have our best ideas when we're walking, whether it's hiking or walking around the lot. We often solve problems or even have new ideas. I was thinking, can't you do walking meetings? Just everyone's in their own neighborhood. So you're on the phone and whoever else is in your meeting is on the phone, but you're all walking in your own neighborhood having a walking meeting. Now you might need one person, at home taking notes.
Yeah.
But we got someone from KC. Hi, KC.
Hey, KC.
And I just thought, well, that could be a good way to break it up.
Well, I love doing a walk and talk, and I have one scheduled for tomorrow with a friend, which I do with friends, and I think it'd be great to do it for a meeting. But again, the problem is whether you need to take notes. When I have meetings like that, I usually do end up taking a lot of notes. I find that I can't even process what people are saying unless I'm taking notes. I'm that kind of person. But I think for different people's business and different kinds of conversation, that could be good. And actually, research shows that we have different kinds of ideas when we're walking, when we're sitting, and when we're lying down. So you could generate a whole new kind of ideas. And clearly for you and Sarah, it's a very productive and fertile way of generating ideas. Oh, wow. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts. Yes, someone says, yes, I need notes. Someone says,
but I guess the work we do, a lot of times we have a writer's assistant taking notes. So the writer's assistant could be home taking notes.
Right. And they're just kind of silently writing it down. Someone says Zoom gets painful with large groups of friends and family. Some folks are not that tech savvy and don't mute themselves while doing other things. Yes, that's annoying. Either no one or everyone is speaking. Yes, that's a big problem too. That's definitely something that comes up. But there's all kinds of research showing why it is that we find it so draining. And it has to do for a lot of reasons. Part of it is like the awkwardness of it. And then part of it also is that there's a lot of information that's missing. And so our brain has to fill it in. And that's just very draining for the brain, because it's like, what does this person really mean? And who's speaking next? And what exactly did they say? Because the sound isn't as good. There's also a lot of information, because I'm doing all this body research on the body and the senses. It turns out that when you're in person with somebody, there's all this like airflow back and forth. And that's why it feels very flat and dead. Obviously, one of the reasons is that you're not getting the airflow from somebody. So there's a lot of missing information that then our brain has to fill in.
Gretch, people want to know what different kinds of thoughts does one have laying down versus sitting up versus walking.
I wish I knew. I have to look that up. It's something that I read a long time ago. I remember so many, just enough to be dangerous. So I'll look it up and report back. It's in my notes for the Happiness Project. So it's been a while. But, but many of the greatest thinkers and most creative people throughout history have talked about, I think it was Nietzsche said, the greatest thoughts are conceived by walking. And people like Virginia Woolf went on walks every single day. And so there's a long tradition of creative people walking as a way to generate ideas. But there's also a long tradition of people lying down lying down in bed and having good ideas. So there's a lot of different things. Somebody said, I wish people would use a headset and not have their phone on speaker when they are outside. Now, listen, we talked about this with people listening to podcasts or music. There's kind of a feeling that you would rather not, unless there's like a safety concern. Yeah. If there's other people around, it's nice not to have
that's obnoxious. Yeah.
There's also research showing why is it more annoying to hear a one-sided conversation than both sides of a conversation.
Oh, why is that?
Missing information, because then you're like, what's happening? But I will also say, as somebody who, my husband is often just keeps this stuff on speaker, it's also very annoying. I think I would rather hear his side of the conversation than both sides of the conversation. So these are it is a multi-factor annoyance possibility. I think one must say.
And someone pointed out that, you can use the gallery on Zoom does help gallery view.
Yes.
You see everyone at once, but you still have the issue of not knowing who's talking when and not hearing people, or then people talking over each other. So it's tough.
Yeah. Oh, someone's pointing out that Beethoven and Brahms were both known to generate some of their best works during walks in nature. So that's great. I mean, if you've got other examples of people, put them in, because that's really interesting. Someone says, my best thoughts swimming or on a boat. Well, there's a lot of research about and stay tuned if you're interested in this, because I'm going to talk about it in my body book. Things like being in a shower. Listen, you and I have talked several times about, can you use a shower to change your mood? Can you take a shower to kind of wash off thoughts or kind of confusion or noise. Oh, that's interesting. You can wash off noise. That's like a cross-sensory metaphor there.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of things that, sort of mild stimulation that helps people to think and have unexpected juxtapositions and stuff. Yeah. Oh, and someone says looking at yourself. Well, apparently that is a big issue with Zoom, that we cannot help but look at ourselves.
Oh, I do. I'm constantly adjusting and trying to look better.
Well, yeah, give us a thumbs up if you find yourself like checking, is there lipstick on my teeth? Like, what's in my background? Like, do you find yourself? But also the thing is, some people don't understand this, is like, to make eye contact, you can't look at the person's eyes the way you would look at the camera. So if you're trying to make eye contact, you're just staring at the camera and you can't really see the person, which is really hard. Anyway.
And also people are in different positions on different people's devices. So
yes. Okay.
You can't point at people. You can't be like, okay, it's
okay.
Yeah.
My pet peeve is people who put it down. We're all past the point where you can just put it on a coffee table and put it up at eye level. It makes my neck hurt just looking at people sitting like that. And I finally trained Jamie in this but though today I saw he just had it on a thing. That, and then, wait, what was my other one? I had another. Oh, so here's a question. Okay, this is an etiquette question. Everybody weigh in. I was in a meeting. What kind of meeting was it? It wasn't a friend meeting. So it wasn't like me and my book group, but it wasn't like a sit up straight and like I wore a collared shirt kind of meeting. It's kind of an intermediate meeting with people that I knew well, and we were just talking things through. Is it permissible for me to be visibly putting up my feet on my desk, or is that disrespectful? Or is it like, hey, you're in your office by yourself, you can sit any way you want? Like, you can still see my face and everything. It wasn't like I was like lying on the floor with my, like, just the soles of my feet showing. But I definitely, it was like, if I were like right now and I put my feet up on this, you could see that that's what I was doing. If you looked, it wasn't that obvious, but it was kind of obvious. And I thought, is this too casual? Because I am in a meeting, but on the other hand, I'm alone in my room. So
I don't know.
Somebody says, don't do it.
Someone says disrespectful.
Someone says yes, permissible. Someone says no. Someone says yes.
Your
okay, I think I got it. Odd but not rude. Interesting. I think there's a circuit split here.
No legs up.
No legs up. I think disrespectful. Treat work like work. I was in a meeting with someone eating a bowl of Okay, disrespectful. Be comfortable. I think if there's not a clear consensus, err on the side of being more respectful. So I'm not going to do it. And I have to say, at the moment that it was happening, I was like, I feel like I'm kind of pushing a line here. And usually, if you think you're pushing a line, at least somebody's going to feel like you've crossed the line, even if not everyone would think you crossed the line. And it's always better to err on the side of being respectful. So
I think in a meeting with people who aren't friends or family, like if I was in a Zoom writer's room and it was every day and we were all comfortable, I would absolutely put my feet up, but not in a meeting with an executive.
Right. Well,
someone said, would you do it in person?
That. I would say that this was in between that. But somebody says that they have a small ottoman in their office under their desk. And that's the kind of thing that maybe I should just do during this period, because usually I have a teeny tiny office. I don't really need that. But that's not a bad idea for right now, because if I am sitting in a Zoom meeting, it might be a lot more comfortable. Our father trained us this. Our father always wants to have his feet up. And it's really trained me. I always want to have my feet up. And it might be a lot more comfortable for a long, especially since you get restless, just sitting there.
Yes. I want to remind that, since we're talking about this, Gretchen, remind everyone that I think I mentioned Sarah and I on this week's Happier in Hollywood, we talked to Allison Fanger, who's a costume designer, about good things to wear in a Zoom meeting. And she also talks about your background. And how you should think of it as a frame, my frame is not good. I need to work on mine.
But you got that Mac computer that everybody
but that's not exactly, it's interesting, but it doesn't exactly, make me pop.
Yes.
So
I remember, if anybody saw give me a thumbs up if you watched the thing on John Krasinski, Some Good News, where it was the entire original cast of Hamilton singing Alexander Hamilton.
Yes.
There was one woman, and she was like a gorgeous woman, and she had this lavender background that was like clearly like that's why she got it. And I'm like, she looks amazing. And like there were like 16, Brady Bunch panels, and of course the eye went right to her because it was this beautiful luscious color. And I thought, okay, this is somebody who's like, she's new school. She gets it, you know.
I mean, one thing I would say, Gretchen, and I'd be interested if people agree with me, thumbs up. You said like, oh, I should get a little ottoman for this time.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be like a new normal. I mean, I think, yes, we won't do all meetings on Zoom, but I think like they're with us to stay. Like you are going to be doing a lot more meetings on Zoom just for the rest of your life. So it's worth having that good background or the stool or figuring out the right angle because it's in the lighting.
I said to try this at home, Elizabeth, which is, deal with it because it's not going away.
Deal with your Zoom background.
Yeah. Yes. Well, so what do people, if people were going to put something on a list of something like, I should just go ahead and deal with that because this is sort of the new abnormal, as somebody said yesterday. Elizabeth, for your birthday, I got you something along these lines, but I will say no more because I don't want to spoil it. But it's meant to be something like in this category. Oh, great. But I would love to know. Oh, someone says need a tripod. Oh my gosh, we have so many tripods in my house. There's so many tripods. Here's a tripod I love. Does it have the brand name on it though? I did an interview with somebody.
Well, you look, I'll tell the one I love that I have is a squid grip, flexible tripod. I forced Sarah to buy it. I said, this will change your life. And she agrees it has changed her life.
But I'm going to see if I can see the name of it.
Oh, it's Xeno. Mine is Xeno, Xeno, squid grip, flexible tripod. It's only like $30.
Yeah. And this one is called a Use-On, I believe. And it folds up. It's good if you travel because it folds up very small, but it really grips.
Oh, and that's a much bigger one.
Yours is more like of a tabletop one.
Yes.
This is one if you like wanted to be sitting in a chair or you needed more height. But it doesn't go like full length if you need one that's like 3 feet. One thing is if you have a bandolier, as you probably do, because all we do is talk about how much we love our bandolier. One thing is if these things are too tight, you can't get your bandolier in. And if they're too light, they can't balance with the bandolier because the bandolier throws off their balance. And so I have a couple tripods that I really like, but I have to take my phone out of my bandolier in order to use them. And the one downside of a bandolier is it's not easy to get your phone in and out of the bandolier. And so I don't like that anyway. Yeah. Someone says, Liz, can you post the name of your tripod? So say it again, Elizabeth.
It's Xeno, Xeno, squid grip, flexible tripod. And Sarah and I actually did it as a Hollywood hack. So if you look through I don't remember right now what number it was, but it's on our website, happyinhollywood.com. Someone else is asking where can they hear about what to wear on Zoom? Yes. That's actually not out yet. It's going to be on Happier in Hollywood this week, which comes out Thursday, where we talk to Allison Fanger.
Somebody says, will it hold multiple size devices? With anything that you order, you should look in the comments to make sure that it holds the size of your device. I think now most of them are really pretty flexible because people have such different size devices, but you should absolutely check because believe me, I have made that mistake. Somebody said, we finally got patio furniture for our balcony. Our life immediately improved. Just to sit outside safely of our apartment is amazing. Someone said a music stand. One says, someone says my phone cup holder works well. Oh, that's interesting.
And does everyone know, I should just public service announcement about the touch up my appearance feature on Zoom. I assume we all know that now. Yeah, I didn't
know that, but listen, when you guys talked about it on Happier in Hollywood, I was so excited. I'm like, this is going to make me look amazing. But of course, you know what happened? I found out I already had it turned on. So there was no gain. I'm like, oh, I'm already spruced up. Like, I thought that was just how I looked naturally. I'm already got the filter on. But explain how to do it. Oh, Elizabeth is frozen for me. I don't know if you all are, if she's frozen for you. Hang on. Well, let's see um, if she comes back. She's been having some internet issues. Um, oh, it's our mother. Hello, Mom. Oh, someone says couldn't find the touch up on Zoom. You know, after Elizabeth talked about it on her podcast, I looked at it and I can't remember where I found it. I think they talk about it. But if you probably just Google it, that would work. It's funny because I'm getting comments, but okay, yeah, give me a thumbs up if Elizabeth is frozen for you too. Oh, someone says it's not on Android Zoom. Okay, that's interesting to know. So it's only if you're using a different one. Yeah, somebody says pixelated, Liz is frozen. Okay. So anyway, but while we're waiting for her, why don't, if anybody's got an interest, because there have been so many fantastic mantras. Ooh, I'm going to see if she's trying to join again. Hang on. She may have had to go off. Won't let me add her. Oh, wait, there it is. She wants to be re-added. There we go. And I've heard some amazing mantras that people have had. So we're always, yeah, hey, you're back.
There, I'm back. Sorry about that.
So while you were gone, I switched to mantras. Oh, but before we talk about mantras, tell people how they can do that thing on Zoom, because a lot of people didn't know about it.
Well, I think it might only be on a computer. I don't know if that's where I found it. If you look at video settings, I believe it's called, and you just click on that, there's different options, and you just click touch up appearance.
So it's
when you're in a meeting. I mean, I've only done it when I'm actually in a meeting, and this video next to the little video camera icon, there's a arrow. I think you click and options come up.
Okay. Well, so I switched asking people about mantra, and someone says my mantra is peaceful and productive. That is lovely. Oh, all these people are saying yes, you can do it on your iPhone.
Oh, good.
Like everything, just Google it.
Yeah.
And people are saying it stays if you said it. Somebody said, and I'll talk about this on the podcast because someone says the mantra is a question. What is happening now and how does it affect me now? That is interesting. And Elizabeth, it reminds me, we did a wonderful interview with Dr. Elizabeth Schwartz, and it's going to be in the podcast tomorrow, the episode that drops tomorrow. And one of the questions we said is, what if you're having like really, really serious financial issues, a job loss, you know, you've lost 90% of your clients or your customers or whatever. And one of the things she said is like, what is the concrete thing that a child needs to know? If you can't pay the rent, you're going to move in with the grandparents. Well, your child needs to know that. But there's a lot of things maybe your child doesn't need to know. And it's kind of like, what do they need to know right now? And I think even for us, it's like, what do I know right now? And what can I influence right now? What's within my control? Because we can kind of spin out with uncertainty. Oh, yeah. Along the same line, someone says, I am 100% responsible for my life.
What I've realized, Gretchen, as time goes by, is I have to ask myself, what's the right answer for me? Because again, like as a type 1 diabetic, I might not make the same choices about going out once things start to lift as other people do. You know, I just have a higher risk factor potentially. So I have to decide what's right for me and for the rest of the family.
Yeah, and I think that that's going to be important for us all to remember, to have compassion and to recognize that about each other, because as people are kind of following different paths, I think that there's going to be a lot of an impulse to sort of say, I'm doing it the right way, you're doing it the wrong way, or you read the research, you think it's fine to be on a bicycle and not wear a mask, but I think you should wear a mask. Well, it's sort of like we can't get into a fist fight about that. And so, and right. And like, maybe your friends are like, Elizabeth, come on, there's only 3 of us, we're going to get together. And you're like, I don't feel comfortable with that. And you know, hopefully people will be like, well, you should do what's right for you, even if we feel like this is okay for us at this point.
Right. So everyone just has to, as my friend said, public health is about groups. It's not about individuals. So think of yourself as an individual.
Right. Right.
So many good mantras.
Yeah. Every day a little better. Oh, I love that one because I wrote a book called Better Than Before. Someone says, mine is dull. It is what it is. I find it stress reducing. One day at a time. That's very much in the same. It's a time of grace, one step at a time. I'm all right now. That helps with anxiety and fear. Oh, I like that. I'm all right right now. Well, someone says I'm asthmatic, so right there with you, Liz. Oh, that's just be kind. Well, that's kind of along the same lines, Elizabeth, too. Don't do it the hard way when there's an easy way. That's interesting. Oh, sometimes my mantra is just to focus on my favorite color. What is your favorite color?
Yes,
give us a thumbs up if you have a favorite color. What is your favorite color? Why? I am like a fourth grader, nothing. I'm like a second grader. I love to hear what people's favorite colors are. I do not know why that is. I could like just read a book that is just like a list of people's favorite colors.
Someone says change your space, change your mind, was it?
Yes. Okay. As somebody who wrote Outer Order, Inner Calm, I am right there with you 100%. Our surroundings affect our minds. Oh, purple, blue.
Pink,
someone says,
yellow.
Someone says, move a muscle, change a thought. So that again is like, we can go from the outside to the inside, which that's good. I like that. Go from the outside to the inside. No stress, just do your best. That's
good.
heuristic. My word of the year is heal.
Well, that was prophetic.
Yes. Change your life or change your mind. Ooh, I like that.
That's sort of like, if you can't get out of it, get into it, which is what I've always loved.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I had a friend who did not want to deal with Christmas decorations with his new wife. And I just said, if you can't get out of it, get into it. Just love those Christmas decorations.
That's a good one. Well, John Cage has this thing where he says, like in Zen, they say, if something's boring for 2 minutes, do it for 4 minutes. If it's boring for 4 minutes, do it for 8 minutes. And then eventually it becomes very interesting. Someone's favorite color is frosted lilac. The name of the color is as important as the color. Well, you are right. And research shows that people will pay more for things and they want them more when they have a beautiful name, like cappuccino instead of brown. And there is a word, glaucous, that describes frostedness. Like if you have a grape that has that frost on it, that's glaucous.
Glaucous?
Glaucous. A bad name.
That's a great word.
It's a bad name, but it's for a cool thing. What I can't decide, and I should talk to somebody or like spend some time looking this up. You know those dogs, what are they called? Weimerhammers or whatever, that have kind of a frosty look? Yeah. They're like a really interesting color.
It's a sheen, like a gray sheen.
It's a sheen. Can you call that glaucous, or is glaucous? No, that's a sheen.
That to me is a sheen, but to me, glaucous would be a lot of nail polishes.
There you go.
Have that.
I need to look. Clearly, I need to go deeper into glaucous.
Or glass, like in an office, right? You know, frosted glass.
Yes. Well, I don't think that would be glaucous.
Oh, it wouldn't. Okay.
Okay.
Hoarfrost.
Yeah. If you can't get out of it, get into it. Works for lockdown. We're stuck at home. I'm getting into home skills. That is absolutely true.
A lot of people are. That's the baking of the bread, right? That's part of that movement,
right,
I think.
Right. Someone says worrying is wishing for what you don't want. Oh yeah. Wow. Someone says I love color names on nail polish, etc. I read a book by a woman. I can't remember the name of the woman or the book, but I was very intrigued because she was a color namer for I think it was Esso or a major nail polish company. And I was like, truly, there is a job. Just like there's an app for that, there is a job for that. And somebody's sitting around doing it's bikini red. Oh, but okay, it's going to be time for the accountability check-in soon. But first, did you do yesterday's challenge? Did you smell something? This is vanilla paste. Oh my goodness. This is the most delicious smelling thing ever. Give me a thumbs up if you did the challenge and put what you smelled, if you smelled something wonderful. Again, I'm Gretchen Rubin, and this is ELISA Kraft. We're the hosts of the Happier podcast. And the challenge for yesterday was to smell something, like whether it was oregano or fresh towels or vanilla or nutmeg. Because
I smelled wasabi. We had sushi.
Oh, there you go.
I love wasabi.
Ooh, somebody says baby shampoo. I love that smell. Oh my gosh, I love that smell. I love, someone said fresh basil, lime. Oh yeah, that's great. Okay, this is fun. So a lot of people did it. A lot of thumbs up. Okay, cucumber. That is such a fresh, watery smell. That's a beautiful smell. Wild orange essential oil. That's beautiful. A hot
And
chocolate candle. I almost ate it. Orange blossom. I love that smell. Now, another thing, I know it's reversed. This is David Sedaris, Me Talk Pretty One Day. We will be discussing it on May 21st here on the Instagram, on the Coping with COVID-19 Conversations. So Elizabeth recommends the audiobook, ebook, paper book, however you want to get your books.
I'm listening. It's delightful.
I know you kept wanting me to do the audiobook, but I just had to get the paper book. You know how I am.
I knew you would.
I know you did. I was like, yeah, you knew.
It's just not the same, I will say, as hearing his voice.
I think what I'll do is I'll read it and then I'll go listen to, usually you can listen to it so I can get his voice. Okay. Someone said, I started that book on Audible. Very good so far. Listening while I walk. Yes. I am listening to the audio version and it's really fun. Thanks, Liz. Yes. This is a great thing to do for Walk 20 and 20. Somebody says a great book and audio, just get another chapter. So if you want to like enliven your Walk 20 and 20, and speaking of 20 and 20, accountability check-in, what have you been doing? What do you want to be doing? Someone says, I got the book too. Excellent. So what do you want to be held accountable for? And what is the thing that you get a gold star for? Somebody had, I think yesterday said they had a 96-day meditation streak going. Definitely get a gold star. Oh, somebody says no snack burst.
Yay,
okay, Elizabeth,
good
that's
job.
Team Snack Burst.
That's going to relate to our challenge today.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Someone did a yoga class, walking every day, a walking exercise. It's okay. A lot of these are exercise. 1 line a day. That's the 1 sentence journal. If you want, I have my one sentence a day journal if you want to get like a journal, but you can obviously do it any way you want. Bingo. Someone else with snack burst. So Elizabeth, give us your challenge, your snack burst challenge.
Yes, this is for my people out there who are trying to resist snack bursts. With me, it's not for everyone. If you don't want to do this challenge, don't do it. No judgment. But the challenge is try on a pair of real pants. I forced myself to do this morning, and I did it a few days ago. I had some pants I bought right before this stay-at-home order, so I knew they fit then. And so I am trying them on to determine, where I stand with this whole COVID-19, weight gain. So mine I did it this morning. They're still tight, but I think they're less tight. Hopefully that's not just because they stretched the last time I put them on. But I have a few different pair of pants that I can sort of gauge where I'm at. So I am forcing myself to try on real pants. It's not pleasant, but it has to happen, at least in my life. So that's my challenge to you, is try on those pants or jeans.
Yeah, somebody says, yikes, I haven't worn jeans since February. I wore jeans I put like cargo pants on or something, and I was like, yeah, what is this zipper?
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Someone's saying, what are the pants? They were some Veronica Beard navy blue sort of nice pants that I got on sale.
You were heading into a season where you were going to be having all these meetings, so you were like getting prepared.
I thought I needed meeting clothes, but I was wrong.
Yes. This is called The Strategy of Monitoring. In my book, Better Than Before, I talk about all the strategies you can use for habit change. And the strategy of monitoring is just monitoring what you're doing. And kind of the interesting thing about monitoring is that just by monitoring, we tend to do a better job. So whether you monitor how many times you lose your temper in a week, how often you read to your children before bed, what you're eating, how much you're spending, how are you doing 20 for 20? Monitoring helps people, even if they're not consciously trying to change, by monitoring it, we kind of move ourselves in that direction. And so it's a really good thing to do just sort of in the background, because even if you're not consciously thinking, okay, I'm going to do something about this, by monitoring it, you're probably doing a better job than you would be if you weren't monitoring. And the corollary to that is when you think you don't want to know the results of your monitoring, we tend to kind of unmonitor and go out of our ways not to get information because we're afraid of what we're going to see. So if there's something where you want to like hold the line on something like spending, it's good to monitor it, even if you don't want to like enforce a rule on yourself or try or like consciously try to form a habit, because just the monitoring itself will be helpful. But it's often we love to monitor when there's good information and when we feel good about what we're monitoring,
Right.
and then we don't feel so good about other things. And so you have to recognize that monitoring is something that, you know, it's garbage in, garbage out. It only gives you helpful guidance if you're doing it regularly. So that's the challenge. Oh, somebody says monitoring is my accountability for an liker. Oh, there you go. Yes. Oh, someone says, yeah, retired means not wearing real pants. Yes. Well, there was an article, I think, in the Wall Street Journal being like, are we ever going back to pants? You know, like maybe maybe it's time has come and gone. Well, everybody, thanks so much. We will remember to vote for us if you're so inclined. We would love to give you a gold star for that. The link is in my profile for the Webby's People's Voice Awards. And huge gold star. So many people have voted already. We so appreciate it. Yes. And we will be back tomorrow. So keep our hands clean and our minds clear. Bye.
Bye.